It's an absolute pleasure to interview Sonja Grace today. Sonja, you are a mystic healer. You are an award-winning author of 6 books, the latest of which is Odin and the Nine Realms Oracle. Fascinating. Yes. The whole conversation is around sentience today. I'm really investigating what it means to be a sentient being. And you have such a unique perspective as a medicine woman, as a mystic healer. I want to know, what does sentience mean to you?
I feel like there's different layers of consciousness. And those layers of consciousness are combined with karma. And each time we reincarnate, we have a really massive case of amnesia. We don't remember where we came from. We don't remember what the lifetime was, but we have a feeling. Wow, I really want to go to Italy. Why do you want to go to Italy? Well, because I just feel connected. And that's those little threads that we get to those lifetimes that we've actually already lived. I also believe that different people with different karma have different callings and different things that they're meant to do. We're not all the same, and we don't have the same karma, but we all have one thing in common. And that is, when we're born, we're given a palette of emotions, and we take our paintbrush every day and we paint our world. Ooh, I want some happiness. Oh, I'm a little frustrated. Nah, I'm really angry and I feel resentful. And we paint our world with these colors. And this is what connects us. But it also connects us in karma. Because when you feel angry and I dial into that and then I feel your anger, our energy is connecting. And when our energy connects in that way, we spin the karma wheel one more time. And so it's a karmic thing that keeps occurring over and over. And I feel that we are helped, we are gifted with beings that come to us, whether they're in alien form or they're demigods or they're angels. There's all kinds of beings in the world. I'm not a big fan of getting help from aliens because I feel aliens are more on the same kind of level as humans. They have an agenda. They come to Earth because they get some kind of natural resource, or they come to Earth because they need to create and make a hybrid of themselves because they lost their planet and there's not many of them left. There's all kinds of reasons. So I always encourage people in the work that I do to ask the angels for help, to call on the angels, because that's what they're here. They come here to help us. That's totally their mission, is to help humanity. Demigods are very benevolent beings, and they're there to help us as well. And different people call on different gods to help them. That's going on around the world for millions of years.
Yeah, there's nothing abnormal about it, right?
No. No.
So are all these beings sentient beings themselves?
And what do you mean by that?
Well, like, do they have the ability to feel? If we look at I'm sort of looking at like the relationship between consciousness and emotional intelligence, right? So merging all those, and you talked about the threads. Well, is that what makes up the fabric of existence?
I think that sentient beings, if we're talking about the same type of beings, sort of benevolent beings, demigods, yes, they feel. There's tons of stories about the Norse gods actually taking human form and walking amongst the people. And when the demigods come to Earth at the beginning of a new phase of humanity, huge portals open up all over the planet. They come through and they help shape different societies and civilizations. Yes, they do take human form. Yes, they do cross-pollinate with humans. And I think that they are here in respect to helping us, as opposed to, I'm going to take you and implant you with something and then send you back with a whole bunch of amnesia and you'll never remember what happened, which is more the alien experience. Angels have never incarnated, in my humble opinion. And I feel that angels are absolutely the best beings that you can call on if you need help. But I also have experienced, I see all of them. I see all the demigods. I see angels, entities, aliens. I see all of it. And I think that when we call upon the demigods, if we call on Odin or Thor, we call on Ra, Sekhmet, so many different demigods that they come and they help us.
Yes. Mm-hmm. How does that tie into our highest selves? Like, are we all channels into our highest selves, then connect us to these demigods? How do you see it actually playing out?
Well, our physical bodies hold our infinite soul, which is having a human experience. Our higher selves is just an aspect of that soul body. So when we die and we leave the physical body, the higher self merges with the soul body because it's really a part of the soul body. And we go to the spirit realm. We get to, reconvene with divine love and remember, oh yeah, this is who I am and I'm infinite and I'm connected to source. And then, we have another lifetime and we go through the whole amnesia thing again because we have karma. And people really aren't here on earth if they have karma. If people have completed their karma, they have actually worked through all of it and they've become enlightened, they are not here.
Do you believe enlightenment means to feel only the blissful feelings, or does it mean to feel everything, the full spectrum?
I feel that enlightenment is truly experiencing the full spectrum of all emotions, but having a clear understanding of what that space enlightenment is. And that space is living in a state of inner peace. That's the difference between non-enlightened and enlightened, is we are living in a state of inner peace. It takes a lot to get there. It's a very, very hard road to travel. And usually the ego throws up these giant roadblocks all along the way, getting people distracted and going down various rabbit holes so they never get to their destination.
Yeah, man, you just said it. Do you believe that really transcending some of the negative feelings and learning how to sort of master our emotions are gateways to those higher sentient states that then lead us into this beautiful alchemical process of enlightenment?
Yeah, I do. My experience in the work that I do, because not only am I a healer and I work on people's hearts and livers and kidneys and spleens and, disease, illness, I do a lot of processing work and I work with the inner child. I help people to excavate the emotional wounds from the body. I help people to address what that illness is on an emotional level. And, I have clients I've worked with for years because they are so dedicated to their process of working on the emotional content. And I think that that is key to all of us getting to a deeper place of A, not going into transference and projection, B, being able to recognize when we get plugged in that we're not going to go there. Okay, I see the trigger. I'm not going to be triggered now. And I'm going to step back and I'm going to go into that place where I feel centered. I'm going to breathe and I'm going to let it go. That takes a lot. Years and years of work, but it's possible. And I think people can get there. We live in a really kind of get quick fix kind of society. You want oatmeal? Here's oatmeal. You want coffee? Here's coffee. Everything is instant. And even in the spiritual community, everybody wants enlightenment. I'm going to be enlightened. I'm going to be, awakened. I'm going to ascend. What? You're going to ascend? I mean, we forget because we get ahead of ourselves that the work is here. We came here for the planet. We came here for her. That is our number one relationship. And in my Hopi culture, that's what we do. We connect with the earth every day. And so to have this sort of get quick fix kind of mentality is really scary, because in the spiritual industry, people are going and taking a workshop and saying, I'm a psychic, I'm going to tell the world how the buffalo roam. And they get themselves into some pretty tough places.
Man, they do, in this world of immediate gratification. And also, I think we live in an age where escapism is an epidemic. I come from a place of addiction, where I really battled acute alcoholism. And that was my way of trying to cope with, that was my way of running away from my feelings. And it took a near-death experience to come around to the fact that actually I've got to sit with them in order to become a channel for peace for her that we live on, as you just spoke about so beautifully.
And I too have 39 years of sobriety and have actually lived more of my life clean and sober than I did, using on any level. And I was very young. I was from 12 to 22 that I used. And yes, that makes me older. And
you look so young.
I tell everybody I'm 24.
You can pass it off. But that is incredible. And I'm really in awe of your sobriety.
Well, I chose, like I said, 39 years of sobriety for me means I am responsible as a healer. I am keeping my filters clear. I don't expect other people to do this. I'm a healer. I'm a mystic. I do work on people all over the world. So I require this of myself. And when I turned my life over to Creator and said, I'm in service, where do you want me to be? And where do you want me to be? And if it's somewhere else around the world, do I get a plane ticket or a pair of shoes? Because I need to know how I'm getting there. So every day I surrender. And that's key to all this stuff that we're talking about. I surrender, because so much of addiction has to do with, no, I'm in control. I'm in control. We got to control the heck out of everything. There is no control. We are not in control. Let me say it again. We are not in control, because this is a big place. First of all, the universe, it's huge. And the earth, she's powerful. And we have so much to learn from her. But again, with this higher frequency, we're in the fifth dimension now. Time and space has shifted. Everything's moving super fast. And we don't know how to keep up with that. That's why I tell people, my clients, my students, this is an inside job. We have to be able to do the work internally in order to vibrationally match what's going on.
Yeah. Man, you just said that so well. That is basically you've just surmised the entire film. And what we're trying to do here is stop the escape, stay with your feelings, do the work. And there's a lot of ways that you can do that. There's beautiful methodologies out there. I like to take my pick, cherry pick this and this and this and this, and something might work for me today, another thing tomorrow. But that really keeps me in touch. But it's the daily surrender.
I just taught a meditation retreat on the island of Molokai, and there were 19 of us. And I tell you, first of all, the island's magic. I've never experienced, and I've been to Hawaii, I've lived on Hawaii. I've never experienced a Hawaiian island where I felt like I was floating, literally floating the whole time. It was so incredible. And we were on this old Hawaiian ranch way out in the middle of nowhere on 12,000 acres. It was just exquisitely beautiful. And I took everybody not only into meditation, but into deep process. And we approached and worked on the ego. And so many people have sort of this bad connotation. Ooh, the word ego is bad and it means something bad. It's not. It is a built-in part of being human. It is a part of the human condition. But we can have a healthy ego and we can have an unhealthy ego. And the ego will act like a firewall, like you have on your computer. It will protect you no matter what. No matter what happens, the ego will pop up and say, oh, I've got to protect her. Even though it's not healthy, I still have to protect her. And so we have things coming out of our mouths that might be like, whoa, that doesn't really support this spiritual consciousness that I'm going for. It's just an automatic protection. And so as we worked on the ego and we worked on identifying what are we saying, what's coming out of our mouths, is it ego driven or is it truly an authentic truth? And in that high vibration that I take everybody into and meditation, it was absolutely exquisite what happened. I had, probably 6 men in this group. One of the men looked at me and I said, can you tell me what happened and how you feel? And he says, everything that I want to say, I'm identifying and recognizing is an ego statement. And I cried. I said, oh my God. And he said, I really have nothing to say. And it was so brilliant. It was so brilliant. Because again, in a day and age where everybody's rushing to get their spiritual groove on and rushing to have as much information as they can, to come to that place and say, I have nothing to say, was to me brilliant. It was a true, okay, I get it. And that's how I feel within myself. When people ask me, who are you or what do you have that you want to share? My answer and what I truly feel is I am nothing. I am nothing. I am a minuscule, teeny tiny speck on the back of this giant planet in this huge universe. I am nothing. And when I really embrace that place, I experience everything. I experience everything.
There's so much power in that paradox. Yeah. And I'm really glad you addressed the ego because it gets a bad rap.
I know.
But right sizing and integration is key. Mm-hmm. Do you believe that there's intrinsic value in the negative charge? Like, the negative emotions as messengers. How can we take them, transcend them, stay with them so that we can get to these higher states?
Okay, now we're going to go out into space. Okay? The soup that we swim in, the energy that we're in, is duality. And it's prevalent. It's been here since Earth was made. Everything's in dualism. Good, bad, right, wrong, hot, cold, light, dark. Everything's in duality, right? So we spend our whole day swimming in duality. And usually the human experience is to go outside of ourselves and say, ooh, that's bad. Oh, that's really good. I don't like that. Oh, I love that. We're constantly measuring outside of ourselves. But now that we're in the 5th dimension and we're in this higher frequency, duality as we know it is splitting apart. And if you notice, there are really, really good things and really, really bad things going on that you just go, holy crap, this is so extreme, right? Yeah. It's literally splitting apart. And we are moving into a time within the next 100 years that will be a non-dualistic reality. And humans, when we first came to Earth 20 million years ago, we are extraterrestrial beings that have evolved and cross-pollinated with demigods for, a long, long time. We have never been in this higher vibration, the 5th dimension. 20 million years ago, we were still in the 4th dimension. So all our species has known is the 4th dimension. Now we're in the 5th. So being in this 5th dimension, we're all scratching our heads going, how do we get through this? Because I can barely keep up with myself, let alone I can barely sit still because I feel like this energy, massive energy rushing through me. So we have to really do the inside work. This is where dealing with duality splitting apart means we have to go inside and find where that right and wrong, good and bad, that panel of we understand that is in the soul body. That is innately a part of our soul body. So when we go in and we check in within ourselves, we feel it. That's key. We feel it. What does that feel like to me? That actually feels pretty good. Okay, there's your gauge. But see, humans, we're so addicted. We are so addicted in society that we lose our feeling mechanism. Our feelings were shut down as a child because it was dysfunctional and somebody said, stop crying. You can't feel that way. You don't feel that way. Be happy. You're not sad. So everything gets shut down. So here we are now, as adults. Okay, I can't feel. I have to have the television tell me what I feel. I have to have, cosmetics and fashion industry tell me how I'm supposed to look. We're so disconnected and we are so addicted. We're addicted to gaming. We're addicted to alcohol. We're addicted to drugs. We're addicted to shopping. We're addicted to food. I mean, it's endless. So people are disconnected. That's where this inner work is so important because it gets us back into what we feel.
Yeah. The feelings are
that was
everything.
A lot.
That
Well, it was amazing.
nailed it for us because I really wanted to bring that home. Do you believe that addiction is the opposite of like pure sentience, meaning pure feeling? I kind of was looking for a soundbite like that, or what's the relationship there?
I feel that addiction is a giant cover-up to the emotional wounds that we carry from childhood and past lives. And the reason that we become addicted is because we don't want to feel our feelings and we want to somehow numb out from the pain. Amen, sister.
Amen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I look around now from the eyes of recovery, I see addiction everywhere.
Oh,
all the time.
Welcome to my world.
That was what sparked this film.
Yes.
Is I wanted to do something and make a statement about it.
Yes.
Stay with the feelings, they'll take you somewhere.
Yes. Yes. And unfortunately, what's so prevalent about the UFO community and much of the spiritual community is everybody's running around using and drinking and doing ayahuasca and smoking pot and doing all these things because they want to feel something. They want an experience. And this is why I teach meditation retreats, is because I take people into an experience without drugs and alcohol. It is an energetic experience. And it's clean. It's not bringing in aliens and other energies that are like, what is that? So it's tricky stuff because people do not understand that clear space that you're coming from because they only know I need to feel something or I want to block what I'm feeling because I'm scared. Yeah. And I think ayahuasca has been horribly abused in many ways because of the level of addiction that's going on in society. It was only the shaman of the tribe that would do ayahuasca because it was so dangerous. And that shaman would have a vision, take it to the people. The people would listen to the shaman and they would take heed to what the message was. Now everybody's going to do ayahuasca and they're all having these various experiences, but what they don't know is that I have people calling me on a daily basis saying, I did ayahuasca and I haven't come back. I need you to help me get back. I'm totally goofed up. My brain isn't working. I'm still stuck in Peru. I don't know how to get home. I mean, I've heard everything from this whole, kind of drug experience. And I get that people want to have an experience and I appreciate that. But I don't think drugs or ayahuasca or pot or anything else is the answer. And I can say that clearly being clean and sober as long as I've been. Yeah.
Absolutely. I hear it loud and clear.
Yep.
There's so many different ways of spiritual bypassing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And we get sophisticated, right? As we evolve in these ways to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, we really do.
We really do. And I love that this interview started out in the higher states and we've gone into addiction and I want to kind of bring it back to the higher states again. And those, the value of life.
Right.
I could cry saying it because I almost lost it. My baby girls have a mother today. That is everything. I believe that we've lost the value. Oh, that's fine. I believe that we've lost the value of our lives. Collectively, maybe. Or we're not in full contact with it all the time. Just to wake up and have sentience. You know, that word that I'm still like, what does it mean? But I love it because I've sort of romanticized it a bit. This ability to feel.
Right.
Can be beautiful.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be bad.
You know, I have seen the Pleiadians, which I consider them, I call them the ancient ones. And in my book, Spirit Traveler, I talk about them quite a bit because when I spirit travel or time travel back in time, my guides take me, and I can't go unless I'm in a deep state of meditation. And when I am in that state, my body completely dissolves. I just become particles of sand, and I float away. And then my guides hold out their hand, and I take their hand, and they take me where they want to show me. I don't dial it in and say, hey, let's go to Stonehenge. You know, it's like they take me where they want me to see something. It is at that time, back in time, 10,000 BC, we've gone back further than that. And I see the beings who created the site, what was built, why it was built, and what it was used for. The Pleiadians have come to me both at Stonehenge and Tiwanaku, telling me about their influence and what they created for the civilization. And this is around 10,000 BC when, you know, Atlantis fell 12,800 BC and Lemuria did at the same time. We had big comets hit the earth, land masses broke off, earth was like totally turbulent. And at that time, all of these portals opened up. And that's when the demigods came through and started recreating civilizations on earth. The Pleiadians come to see me very often, and they have said to me so many times that they are here not only to help create a new phase of humanity, which is beginning soon. This one's coming to an end. And that the beings that are being born right now are all starseeds, like we were when we came through to Atlantis or Lemuria. And that these children are expecting us to do our part before we pass the baton to them. And this is what is so important to me. The Pleiadians have also said that we are here because in essence, they're like our parents and they're proud of us for what we've done, but they're also really afraid and concerned because we've created some things on Earth that really put this Earth in great jeopardy. And the whole galactic community regards the Earth as the blue gem, and that they love Earth and they want nothing to happen to this planet. So that's why we have all these different alien life forms coming through saying, you know, we can do it better. We'll take over. Let us, you know, we're going to handle it, whatever. There's a lot of stuff going on and a lot of different alien groups that are battling for the power of Earth. So when humans have things going on, like a war or some kind of disagreement between countries, I see aliens in these people, and it is the fight between the galactic community, not between humans. But we are not yet awake at that level for most humans to see that that's what's going on.
Gosh, fascinating.
Yeah.
I really resonate strongly with the Pleiadians, and also had a sighting in Stonehenge, which I have on camera.
Oh,
so
nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was an amazing moment, Chris and I both together.
I love Stonehenge.
Yeah. It was awesome. Undeniable.
Yeah. Good. Fantastic.
Yeah. So I really appreciate that story.
Yeah.
And it drives home the value of humanity, the value of living, the value of our beautiful blue gem
Yes.
that we live on.
Yes.
How can we each be conduits for healing this planet?
Probably it's cool too, so probably that's
Yeah. Is that okay? And then that last question.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Do you want me to answer that last question?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. How can we be...
How can each one of us individuals sort of step into that role, take responsibility, and assume the powerful creatorship beingness that we are, you know?
Right. I believe that we can all take responsibility by first understanding that our main relationship is to the earth. That is first and foremost. And that we are here to love each other at the deepest level of our being. And I mean, love everyone around the world from the deepest place within us. I think that in order to get to that place, we have to learn how to forgive. We have to forgive each other. We have to forgive ourselves. And we have to, most of all, have compassion, because compassion allows us the ability to accept each other, that we're different, that we all have different karma, we have different paths, and it's okay. It's okay. We don't have to be in control. If we learn to turn it over to Creator and understand the Creator is a much better producer, a much better director, a much better choreographer than any of us, that we can then, easily hand over whatever that concern is, whatever that worry is, put it in Creator's hands and say, okay, I surrender.
I surrender. I think that's a perfect place to end.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Oh my
Sonja
God,
Grace.
that was great.
Brilliant.